Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, delegates, dear friends. May I wish you a very warm welcome and to pass on the best wishes of Sarah, the Generations for Peace President, and her congratulations to our delegates and all those that have worked so hard to make this Amman Camp 2013 such a success. As our official press conference earlier today, I spoke on the importance of this camp and its special focus on the MENA region. I emphasized how significant it is that the sessions have been facilitated by our own pioneer facilitators. Together, our 17 new delegates and our pioneer facilitators, with our headquarters staff, our wonderful Amman Camp volunteers, and the support of all our partners, together, we have made this camp an enormous success and another milestone in our incredible journey in Generations for Peace. At our welcome dinner, I was touched by the celebration to mark my 50th birthday. Such a birthday is a good time to reflect on the successes and progress made, but I also feel a sense of urgency for the work still to be done. Today happens to be the World Science Day for Peace and Development. Humanity has accomplished so much in the field of scientific knowledge, from subatomic particles to the stars, from incredible advances in medicines and technology to social sciences. And yet so much violence remains in our world, and so much is still needed to develop our skills in dialogue, in conflict transformation, in peace building for a sustainable future. I think we can do more, so much more. Generations for Peace is leading the way, and you are leading that effort. Together, we are learning from our programs, experience, and from the research of the Generations for Peace Institute. We are understanding more about conflict and different forms of violence. But there remains a lot I don't know. I don't know exactly what happens in the mind of a young boy playing football whose leg is blown off by a landmine, or the young girl whose eyes are lost to the flying fragments of shrapnel, or the young man whose entire world freezes when he witnesses his sister raped before his eyes or his father executed in front of their house. I don't know exactly what it feels like to flee for one's life to a new land as a refugee, to face racism and persecution every day, or to be victimized at school for being different, or excluded for being in a wheelchair. I don't know how exactly it has happened, how humanity has let it happen. But we have communities strangled by stereotypes and myths, living in ignorance and fear of those others who they have never met and who have the same ignorance and fears as themselves. I don't know exactly, but I see the impact. I don't know at what point exactly the thirst for revenge, the resentment, the frustration, the humiliation, and the boiled hatred bubbles over. When a voice raised in anger becomes an arm raised in violence, a finger on a trigger, a hand on a detonator. I don't know what it's like to think of violence as the only choice. I don't know exactly. But one thing I know for sure, one thing we all know for certain, those who commit violence weren't born wanting to. And what led them to that path of darkness can be overcome if we take action. 50 years ago, a man of action stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and said, "I have a dream." His life teaching against violence was simple. He said, quote, "People often hate each other because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they cannot communicate. They cannot communicate because they are separated." Surely we all recognize the truth in that. And this is why our Generations for Peace activities seek to bridge those divides, to bring people together using sport, arts, advocacy, and dialogue, to break down those barriers and shatter those stereotypes and that ignorance that breeds fear. For only by doing that can we foster greater understanding, tolerance, and trust. And from the daily demonstrations of such values comes sustainable peace and development for all. Values are central to this. Dr. King explained, quote, "Most people can't stand up for their convictions because the majority of people might not be doing it. See, everybody's not doing it, so it must be wrong. And since everybody is doing it, it must be right." But he stood up for his convictions and said, "I'm here to say to you that some things are right and some things are wrong. Eternally so, absolutely no. It's wrong to hate. It's always been wrong, and it will always be wrong. It's wrong in every age, and it's wrong in every nation. Some things are right, some things are wrong, no matter if everybody is doing it to the contrary." It's that message that is more relevant and urgent today. Has it ever been more important for us to realize that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is our communities, is that good people do nothing? We must not sit idly by while such violence is in this world. We must not accept the popular view or hide amongst the herd, saying it's someone else's responsibility. We shall reap what we sow. What futures are we creating for next generations? What values will guide their lives? What stories and stereotypes are their heads being filled with? We shall reap what we sow. We need to make that change in our own hearts and in our own communities. It is hard and it is risky. Sometimes it feels overwhelming. We feel that the task is too great, the resistance is too strong, our allies are too few, our power is too weak. But in those moments, all we need to do is focus on local action. Where can we make a difference? Where could the knowledge and skills be skillfully applied for greater purpose? Which 10 people might we persuade to join with us, knowing the sum of our power will far exceed each individual's alone? That is the spirit of Pass It On. It is the essence of our cascading model. Focus on local action in your own communities and within our collective capabilities. Passing on Generation for Peace values, knowledge, and skills in conflict transformation. At that local level, we can make each a tremendous difference. And added together, we create a growing global movement achieving real impact. 10 days ago, I invited you to join that movement, to join our growing ranks of more than 8,300 trained Generations for Peace volunteers, to extend our reach now to 50 countries and territories. I challenge you to join our history and prepare to make your own. It has been a privilege to meet you and to hear your personal stories that have led each of you here, the issues that concerns you in your communities, and your hopes and plans to lead changes to address them. Today, after 10 days of intensive training together, I hope you feel ready and equipped to apply your training in your own communities. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your commitment, for taking a stand and refusing to let evil triumph while others stand idly by. Each one of you fills me with pride and hope. I look forward to following your progress, and we will be with you each step of the way, and together we will all work to pass it on. Thank you very much.